Your brain is wired for fear. A fear of danger used to keep you safe from a saber-toothed tiger. Today, it keeps you from asking for a raise. Hi, I'm a clinical psychologist. Today, we're talking about how your brain responds to fear and how to control it so that it does uncontrol you. When you feel afraid, your brain lights up with activity. Your mind races trying to solve the problem. Your heart pounds, your muscles tense. You start sweating. Your body prepares to fight or flight. Your sympathetic nervous system is activated. This fight or flight response was useful when you were in physical danger. But today, many of us find ourselves frozen in fear, stuck between a rock and a hard place, unable to make a decision. We feel paralyzed. So today, we are going to look at what happens in your brain when you feel fear and what you can do to gain back control over your life. Let's get started. Let's take a look inside the brain when you're feeling afraid. When you feel afraid, your amygdala activates. The amygdala is an almond-shaped structure deep in your brain. When it perceives a threat, it sounds an alarm and sends signals to other parts of your brain to take action. Your prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for rational thinking and decision-making, gets deactivated. Instead, the areas of your brain that control more primitive functions light up. That includes your midbrain, your cerebellum, and your brainstem. Your brain is essentially telling you to revert back to more instinctual ways of being so that you can survive. These instinctual responses are hardwired into your brain and body. They don't require conscious thought. They happen automatically. Your hypothalamus, which is part of your limbic system, sends signals to your nervous system to initiate the fight or flight response. Your heart starts pounding. Your muscles tense. You begin to sweat. You might even experience a surge of adrenaline. All of these responses are meant to help you face the perceived danger. If the saber-toothed tiger was charging you, you would need all of this energy to fight the tiger or run away from it. But what if the saber-toothed tiger no longer exists? What if you're afraid, but there's no real physical danger? This is when you might freeze or get stuck. You have all these physical sensations of fear. But your mind is unable to come up with a solution because the parts of your brain that are responsible for problem solving are shut down. So let us talk about what you can do to take back control of your brain when you feel afraid. Number 1, take a breath. When you feel fear, your breathing changes. You start to breathe faster and shallower. Your body goes into what's called sympathetic overdrive. Your sympathetic nervous system is revved up and your parasympathetic nervous system is shut off. Your sympathetic nervous system is responsible for the fight or flight response. Your parasympathetic nervous system helps you relax. It's responsible for rest and digest. Taking a breath is one of the easiest ways to turn off your sympathetic nervous system and activate your parasympathetic nervous system. In one study, people who took 2 deep breaths before giving a speech reported less anxiety than those who didn't. Deep breathing can also reduce muscle tension and lower your blood pressure. Here's how to take a breath. Close your eyes. Breathe in through your nose to a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 2, and then exhale through your mouth to a count of 6. As you exhale, imagine that you're releasing tension and stress. Continue breathing deeply until you feel calm. You can practice this type of breathing in the moment when you feel afraid, or you can practice it regularly as a way to calm your nervous system. It's called a relaxation response. And just like a muscle, the more you practice it, the easier it will be to access when you need it. No. 2. Engage in mindful awareness. When you feel afraid, you tend to catastrophize. You think of all the worst-case scenarios. You ruminate about what could go wrong, and you imagine all of the negative outcomes. Catastrophizing activates your amygdala, which makes you feel even more afraid. To break the cycle of catastrophizing, bring your attention to the present moment. Notice what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Describe what you notice out loud or write it down. By focusing on the here and now, you take your mind off the future and you reduce your level of anxiety. Another strategy you can use to stop catastrophizing is thought stopping. When you notice yourself worrying, say stop out loud or write stop. Make it a habit to break the pattern of catastrophic thinking each time you notice it. Over time, this will become easier and easier. Number 3, reframe your thoughts. When you're afraid, you tend to think in absolutes. You think in terms of good or bad, right or wrong, success or failure. This type of rigid thinking fuels anxiety. It sets you up for disappointment. When things inevitably don't go your way, you feel more afraid. To stop thinking in absolutes, challenge your thoughts. Ask yourself if there's any flexibility in your thinking. Can you find a middle ground? For example, instead of thinking in terms of success or failure, think in terms of a continuum. Where would you be on a continuum from not successful to totally successful? Think about all the factors involved. Be realistic. Now think about where you are on that continuum. Chances are you're closer to the middle than you think. Once you identify your absolute thinking, challenge it and replace it with more flexible, adaptive thinking. Number 4, use positive self-talk. When you feel afraid, you may put yourself down. You might say things like, "I'm such an idiot," or "I always screw things up." This type of negative self-talk activates your amygdala and increases your level of anxiety. Instead, talk to yourself in a kind, compassionate way. Remind yourself of times when you've overcome challenges in the past. Tell yourself that you can handle this. You've handled difficult situations before. Positive self-talk doesn't have to be fake. You don't have to convince yourself that everything's hunky-dory when it's not. You can acknowledge the difficulty of the situation while still believing in your ability to get through it. You can say something like, "This is really challenging, but I can do hard things. I've done them before." When you use positive self-talk, you activate your prefrontal cortex. This is the part of your brain that's responsible for managing your emotions. When you use positive self-talk, you're able to take control of your emotional state. Number 5, learn about your anxiety. When you feel afraid, it's easy to give into your fear. It's easy to believe that you're powerless. Learning about your fear can help you feel more in control. It can help you demystify what you're experiencing. Learn about the fight or flight response. Learn about how your brain responds to fear. Learn about the role of your amygdala. Knowledge is power. The more you understand your fear, the less power it has over you. Number 6, know your triggers. We all have specific triggers that make us feel afraid. For some people, it's public speaking. For others, it's heights or spiders. Whatever your trigger is, find healthy ways to confront your triggers. If you're afraid of public speaking, join Toastmasters. If you're afraid of heights, take a class. Learn about your triggers and then learn how to manage them. The more you confront your fears, the less afraid you'll be. And the less afraid you are, the more in control you'll feel. Number 7, reach out for support. When you feel afraid, reach out to someone you trust. Talk about your fears. Process your emotions with someone else. Sometimes just talking about your fear can diffuse it. You may feel less alone. You may feel less helpless. Reaching out for support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Use the support of others to help you gain perspective. And number 8, consider therapy. If you struggle with anxiety, consider working with a therapist. Therapy can help you understand your anxiety. It can help you challenge your thoughts. It can help you learn skills to manage your anxiety. There are many different types of therapy, so find a therapist who uses a treatment approach that works for you. So let us take a second to review the 8 things you can do to take back control of your brain when you're afraid. Take a breath, engage in mindful awareness, reframe your thoughts, use positive self-talk. Learn about your anxiety, know your triggers, reach out for support, and consider therapy. When you feel afraid, it's easy to feel helpless. It's easy to feel like there's no hope, but with a little effort, you can learn to manage your fear. You can learn to take back control of your brain. I hope this video has been helpful. If you enjoyed it, please share it with others. Thanks for watching. See you next time.